All right, Candle Range Theory Trader, back with you with another video, just showing you that you will not make money trading until you do this. So let's get into it. You have to accept the following. The odds of you being some world-class trader who wins 90% of your trades long term, okay, is slim to none. That doesn't mean you can't have a week where you do it or even a month, but just long term, we're thinking long term here, it's probably not going to happen. All right. But how can you be a below average trader and still make a living trading? It is possible, but this is how we have to do it. So this is a quote from famous trader Paul Tudor Jones, who has been on CNBC and has done been in the book Market Wizards, which is a great interview. You might want to check that out. But this quote comes from him. It does not something I made up. I'm looking for a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio, which means that for every $1 I risk, I'm looking to make 5. What 5 to 1 does is allow you to have a hit rate of 20%. I can actually be a complete imbecile. I can be wrong 80% of the time, and I'm still not going to lose. So what we have to do now is we have to put this concept to the test. And we're going to have a little fun with it by flipping a coin. So I have a little website here with where we flip a coin using Google, but this is how we're going to do it. Let's say we start with 10 bucks. All right. If the coin lands on heads, which is this right here, I'm going to lose a dollar. Okay. If the coin lands on tails, which is like a torch, you'll see that, I'm going to make $5. That's 1 to 5, like Mr. Jones says. So we're just going to see. This is completely random. All right. So let's go. We're only going to flip it. Let's see, about 5 times to flip this chart. Let's see if we make or lose more than the $10 we started with. Okay. We're going to put his theory to the test. So let's flip. Here we go. First flip. That is heads, so I lose a buck. Okay, so I'm down $1. All right, let's flip again. That is tails. I made $5. Let's flip again. That is tails again. I have made $5. Let's flip again. That is heads. I have lost. But what did I lose? $1. Let's flip one more time. That is heads. I have lost. All right. So just at a glance, you'll see I lost more than I won. But what's our total? Let's make this real simple. I started with 10. I'm just going to make this do the losses in a row and then the wins. Okay, so I started with 10, 9, 8, 7. All right, I lost $3, but I made 10. 10 plus this 10 right here plus the 7 that I was left with is $17 total. Okay, $17 grand total after losing more than I won. But that's the power of risk management, is the point. Okay. Now, these are some, let me go back to my slideshow here. Now, because these are some real life examples of a losing rate, or just one really, baseball players. I'll never forget, I heard a famous guy, Jim Rohn, who I don't listen to anymore. He did bring up this great point, though, about how if you're not familiar with American baseball, there's something called a batting average, which means how many times does a batter hit the ball that is thrown at them at sometimes as high as 100 and over 100 miles per hour. The best batter to ever do it, in terms of Major League at least, was some guy named Ty Cobb. And he had a batting average of 36%. That is way less than half. But he's the best because hitting a baseball is hard to do. Guess what? Trading is something that is also hard to do. I don't have to go over all these numbers, but all of them are below 40%. And all these guys are considered the best at what they do in their specific field. So in trading, you're not aiming for a 90% win rate. We trade to make money. And don't get caught up in how many trades are winning. You need to get caught up in how much trades are paying you when you do win. You have to flip it. Okay? And it's hard, at least for us, definitely us here in America, to do. Because in America, if you get a 30 or a 60 on something like a test, that's something that you're considered a failure. But in the real world, you can do okay for yourself with a up to 70 to even 80% failure rate in the world of trading, and at least baseball. I'm not talking to baseball players here, but in trading, don't feel like you have to win every trade. You really don't. What is most important is the fact that you are making money. You have to make your wins count. So here's an example for my own live trading account right here. Okay. These are my losses. Okay. If there's one thing I'm going to boast about, I'm going to boast about the fact that I have finally been able to keep my losses so small that I can take them over and over and over and over again. Okay. And still make withdrawals. Okay. Still managed to make withdrawals and earn income after this week. This is all from this week. You see these withdrawal dates, and I'm not going to tell you how much they were because that's not smart to broadcast your income on the internet for strangers. Okay, but at the end of the day, 2 withdrawals this week, and these trades here, you see the dates. Okay, 7/25, 2025. This is my live account, but I still managed to make 2 withdrawals from profits. Okay, not from the account balance, but from profits that were achieved. Okay, one on the 25th, one on the 23rd. But how is that possible? Same thing. All I did was this right here in real life. Okay? All I did was this right here. I lost more than I won this week. But it is possible, is my point. This led to this. Okay? So the point is, remember, we don't trade for win rates. We trade for profit. And the number one question you have to ask yourself after every trade you close out, how much did I lose and how much did I win? Not did I win or did I lose? Irrelevant. Irrelevant. Did I lose $3? Did I lose $5? Did I lose $10? Okay, fine. Did I make $40? Did I make $50? Did I make $10? And as long as your wins outweigh your losses, you cannot lose. But if you're the type of trader that I know I used to be, I can make $200, but then I can lose $200. I can make $500, but then I lose $400. And it's just this pendulum swing. Folks, that is not it. I've been there. I've done it. All you're going to do is burn yourself out, and you're constantly having to refill your account. Or if you're doing the prop firm thing, you're buying challenges again. Those days are done. Okay? But it comes down to keeping those losses small. All right. You will not make a substantial income, or should I say long-term income, until you and I, okay, master risk management. Master the art of doing this. If you can get this, look at those reds right there. If you can master that, see how tiny they are? 166, 270, 241. If you can stay consistent in small losses, I promise you'll see big wins. Because I don't care about these small losses. I'm only looking for wins big enough to say, you know what? That was a great trade. Market was on my side today. Let me go ahead and make a withdrawal and be done with it. I'm on to the next one. Okay? Because we're trading for profit. So, in conclusion, this is not for most people because most people feel like they have to win every single trade they take, or at least 90% of it. And what that can do is lead to overconfidence because you feel like you have a method that is unbeatable. And honestly, I feel sorry for people who have high win rates because sometimes they get caught up in their own ego and think the market's wrong instead of them. That's just not reality, okay? So I had to learn. I'm not here to be right. I'm just here to get paid, make money. So brag about your small losses. You're going to have more of them, so you got to make that the source of your pride. Not, I made $1,000 trading. I only lost $20 trading because you are going to lose. I guarantee you that. So when you win, be happy, be thankful, and make it count. Make it worth your while. So I know some people preach 1-to-1. Some people preach 2-to-1 risk to reward. Some people preach negative risk to rewards. Hey, everything works, nothing doesn't. I'm not going to say this is the only way to manage your risk. You find the one that fits for you. But I've tried a lot of them, and this is the one that I believe is the best because it really puts you in the mind of there's a video, and I may link it in the description, I may not. But if you just look up the concept that's called trade like a casino, I wanted to find real world examples of people who were actually doing this or businesses who were actually doing this. And that's really what solidified it in my mind. Casinos do not lose money. But how do they do it? They rig the games in their favor. Okay? They rig the games in their favor. Because the casino doesn't care if you lose, if you as a player win a few hands of blackjack or a few spins of the roulette wheel. If you sit at that roulette wheel or that blackjack table long enough, I promise you, they're going to get every single thing you won. They're going to get it right back and more. They will clean you out. So you got to learn how to quit when you're ahead. Okay, so it's the same in trading. When I put the numbers in my favor, if I know that as long as the math works out, If I lose, I only lose $5, but if I win $20, $30, $40, whatever. Okay, and if you start adding to positions, watch out. Okay, but that's gonna come later with time. We're just talking about a straight 1 to 5, and it may not even be always 1 to 5. It could be 1 to 3, whatever. 5 is just an example, but that win has to outweigh those losses. And I promise, you just keep trading the same method that I've been showing you on this channel, and you will be fine. But you have to be able to manage your risk. Managing risk is what's going to get you paid, not trading. Managing risk. Okay, and then I promise your days of making deposits will be over. All you'll be doing is making withdrawals. So I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much for your time and attention. I have a few more videos coming up pretty soon with a couple things I'm putting together for you guys. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and have a great rest of your day.